Welcome ladies and gentlemen to my Nightblade Gank build video for the Dark Brotherhood. So this version of the build is more focused on melee fights. So we have basically two setups, dual wield two-hand or bow two-hander. Then again, the best gear won't help you if you don't know how to gank people. So I just want to show you the character stats, the gear, champion points, skills, and then at the end I will show you some combos you can pull off to basically insta-kill people. It is really easy to do if you know how. But killing people is one thing, but getting away with it is another thing, right? So you need to know how you can escape like people if you can't kill them. I will show you that too. Anyway, when I'm buffing myself completely up, you see I almost hit at 5.3k weapon damage. I still have almost 1.6k stamina recovery, 1.1k magic recovery, 25k health and 30k stamina, plus I have the shadow mundus, so my critical strikes deal even more damage. It's really crazy the damage output you can get with this build, believe me. Before I forget it, I'm a wood elf. It is really recommended to be a wood elf because you see increases damage done while in stealth by 10% plus increases damage recovery by 21%, so it's really OP. And I use a special buff food. I use this buff food, the legendary one. Increases max health and then it gives me health, stamina and magic recovery. That's why my stats look pretty cool here. You also can be a vampire or a werewolf. A vampire increases, like from the passive Dark Stalker, increases the movement speed while you're sneaking by 50%, so it's pretty cool. Plus you get 10% more magic and stamina recovery. And if you want to be a werewolf, it also works. For example, you can have it on the second bar because werewolf is really strong. If you can't run away from somebody, transform werewolf, put the bleed on the enemy, some light attacks with a Hole of Agony, and the dude is dead. So to show you the gear, I use 5 pieces Alchemist, as you have seen the glow on the arms. Then 3 pieces Agility, 1 piece Molakina. If you have it in Divine, use it in Divine because you want to get as much Divine pieces as possible. I have a Lake's shoulder piece, Lake's mace sharpened, and Maelstrom axe sharpened. If you don't have a Maelstrom weapon, you can use another Lake's mace sharpened. It might be even the better option to use another mace. Because the good thing is here it gives us 94 weapon damage, right? But it's an axe and maybe another mace sharpened would be better. Plus, as you see on this mace, I have a weapon enchantment, the disease weapon enchantment, 3.4k disease damage. So this will crit with about 3 to 4k in PvP. It's really strong, believe me. They kind of nerfed Camo Hunter, but they gave us stronger weapon enchantment, so it's pretty cool. Then two-hander. Here, if you don't have the Maelstrom weapon, it doesn't matter. Just use a random two-hander. The two-hander is only here to buff ourselves. That's what you need to understand. Then if you use a bow, I have the Maelstrom bow. For example, if you use the bow instead. But if you don't have this one, you also can use the Pact's bow. As you see, he has a unique weapon enchantment. Deals 5.5k unresistible damage. So this will crit on people for 5 to 7k. It's insane. Anyway, let's get to the champion points. So now the champion points, pretty simple. I'm at the cap, 501 CP, 87 in mighty because it increases physical poison disease damage, so 23% increased damage, and a lot of points in precise strikes because you want to hit out of sneak, so you get increased critical damage, 21%, so it's a lot. So this one is the most important. Then here I have 47 points. It's really up to you where you put it, doesn't really matter. You also can put them here to reduce the duration of snare, fear and stuns, but yeah, it's just, I like this one. Important is that you have this one at 120, so I split it 60-60 because of Unchained. Reduce the stamina cost of abilities by 80% for 3 seconds after breaking free of a stun, knockdown, fear, dissonance, stagger, so you can use your skills really cheap for 3 seconds. Pretty cool. Then 80 points into stamina cost reduction, 57 into Mooncalf to get more stamina recovery, and 30 points into Tumbling to reduce the dodge roll and break free cost. Again, just play around with this setup a little bit. The most important are those two. Those are really the best ones you can get. There is also exploit the passive, but we have that anyway. Increase your damage against off-balanced enemies by 10%, but we have that anyway. Okay, let's get to the skills and the two setups. So now to the skills. First we'll show you the dual wield two-hander setup and then the bow two-hander setup. So I use Shadowy Disguise. The reason I use is, you see, your next attack within 3 seconds will always be a critical strike. So a critical strike is guaranteed. You also can use Dark Cloak if you want, it's up to you. Ambush, our gap closer, plus it empowers our next attack, right? Then Surprise Attack. This skill is one of the most OP skills because when I completely buff myself up, it almost deals 13k damage, and you see, the same time it debuffs the enemy with Major Fracture, reducing his physical resistance by 5.3k, giving us another about 10% more damage. Plus at the same time it also gives us Major Ward and Major Resolve, increasing our spell and armor resistance by 5.3k. This kind of, I think it's a little bit too OP, but whatever. Then Siphoning Attacks. If you think you have enough recovery here, you don't need that, but I like it as a nice resource management tool, because you see, all other direct damage attacks have a 10% chance to restore an additional 2k Magicka and Stamina. So it's really cool. We both need Magicka and Stamina because of Cloak, and Stamina is always nice. Then Radiant Mage Light. First off, it's nice because it reveals enemies out of stealth. Plus we get the 50% damage reduction if somebody tries to gank us. The irony, right? And let me see, I'm not even sure if here, Might of the Guild. Basically when we activate this we get Empower buff for 5 seconds, so our next attack will do 20% more damage, as you can see there. It's not the world's end if you don't have that, because I know it's a pain in the ass to grind this shit up, believe me. Then Flawless Dawnbreaker, a shit ton of damage, undodgeable, plus we get 5% more weapon damage. You can use the other morph if you really want to, because our weapon damage is overkill anyway. The other morph, the Dawnbreaker of Smithing, knocks down enemies. But as we stun our people already out of sneak, I prefer this one. Again, you can use In-Cap Strike, because it gives heal debuff, but enemies can dodge this. They can't dodge Dawnbreaker. Remember, so that's why many gankers use this one. Basically all we need to do is, the moment we get close to an enemy, a heavy attack, a surprise attack and a Dawnbreaker, and they are dead. They can't react to this combo. I will show it to you later. Now let's get to the two-hander. So here, this is our buff bar, Rally. Gives us weapon damage plus nice heal over time, and if you are in trouble it's kind of a burst heal, it gives a lot of healing, so pretty cool. Shadow Image, again, this skill is mainly here because it's fucking OP, but you need to learn how to play with it. You kind of can outsmart enemies with it. For example, if you are in a tower fighting and let's say there's 4 people on you and you can't kill them, you can drop the Shadow Image, you can jump down, and if the people follow you, you just can activate the Shadow Image again and you will get teleported back up and you're safe. Because they have to run around to get to you, but you just can teleport back up. Same thing on stones. If you have covers, like I can drop the shadow image here, run over here, then just go out, maybe jump down, the dude will follow me and I can teleport back up, no problemo. It's pretty cool shit. You have to be... There is a max height difference though, so you need to experiment with it a little bit. But it definitely works and it's fun. Basically, this is our main gadget if it comes to that we have to run away. So it's pretty cool. We have a speed buff here. Don't really need it, but it's handy to have. You also can slot efficient purge here. Maybe I even recommend to slot it because in the next patch we have poisons and all kind of nasty shit that snares us. I know it's really expensive, you can't use it a lot, but you still can use purge and then cloak and it might save your ass. So this skill, it's almost a must-have in my opinion. Relentless Focus gives us the minor berserker 8% increased damage, and it gives us also endurance, increasing our stamina recovery by 10%. So this is pretty cool. Then Vigor here because it's a nice heal, right? Then now here you can use Dawnbreaker, you can use a barrier if you want to, because a barrier is nice and I've seen a few people using it. You can use In-Cap Strike. You also can use Soul Tether if you want. You also can use Aggressive Warhorn if you want. It's really up to you what you do with the second thingy here. Most important is the Flawless Dawnbreaker for this kind of playstyle. Anyway, that's the dual wield two-hander setup. Now let's get on to the bow two-hander setup. Okay, now the bow two-hander. So here, basically on the two-hander bar everything is the same, right? Nothing really changed. Again, if you want another ulti, use another ulti. Then here, Shadow Disguise same, Ambush the same, Surprise Attack the same, and the only thing that really changes is Poison Injection. You also can use Silver Leash if you want to, or Silver Shards. You see, Silver Leash deals more damage, activate again to pull you to the target, and this one just hits more people. So it's really up to you. Silver, I prefer Silver Shards, but yeah. I like Poison Injection more because you see the instant damage, Silver Shards is higher, right? 7.2k. But Poison Injection is nice because when you drop your enemy to low health anyway, the next tick will most likely kill him, or it will kill him. There is also a few people that run like Ambush and Surprise Attack on the dual wield bar, on the two-hander bar, but I don't really see any benefit in that. Yes, your attacks will deal a little bit more damage, but that's about it. So now just to explain you a little bit how to shoot here, or why this setup. What we can do, we buff ourselves, right? And then we empower with Radiant Mage Light, and then we charge the heavy attack, shoot the heavy attack with the Poison Injection, use an ambush and a surprise attack and maybe a Dawnbreaker. But most likely after the ambush and surprise attack most enemies are dead anyway. Just saying, so this is kind of the playstyle, and if there is enemies or something, you always have your two-handed bar where you can drop the shadow image, that kind of stuff. And here, yeah, so it's, you need to decide on your own. I just show you the setup. Anyway, let me just show you once more, like when I buff myself now, on the two-handed bar I'm at 558 and on the bow bar at 4.7. But again, remember we have the Shadow Mundus, so we deal even more damage. Anyway, let's get to the most important part. I will show off some combos on a target dummy Good boy. Okay, so now all I do is I will buff myself up, Rally, Relentless Focus, Alchemist, and then I will make sure to use the Empower, charge a heavy attack, rip. It's so fucking fast, it's almost broken. He has no chance to react, because the moment I attack him with surprise attack he gets stunned. And my heavy, as you have seen, heavy attack 9.5k, 6k, and then a 10k surprise attack. And everything crits right out of stealth. So, and even if he got stunned and would have survived, I just could have used the bash and another surprise attack or a Dawnbreaker. Now another thing, if you know you can't get close to the dude and you need to use ambush. Again, make sure to buff yourself. Hep. It's piss easy if they don't, like they almost can't react to it because it's so fast, because we stun them on our initial hit. And then all you need to do is a surprise attack, bash, surprise attack, and maybe another bash, but usually it's enough. So that's kind of the thing behind that thing if you need to use the ambush. Though if possible use a heavy attack, surprise attack. It's stronger than ambush, surprise attack. Now with the bow, what you need to know is, what you want to do is charge your heavy attack and keep it pressed, and then use press poisoning injection, and both skills will go off at the same time. So let's just show you, buff myself up, then I charge heavy attack, poison injection, ambush, and rip. Some people can break free, so just use your Dawnbreaker. You also could use ambush and then Dawnbreaker without the surprise attack. It's up to you how you need to kind of know for yourself what you want to do. Now I use Silver Shard instead of poison injection, so you want to make sure to buff yourself up, right? And then just get as close as possible. Shoot this, ambush, and rip. Also it is like, yes, it's a target dummy, so he doesn't really react to me, right? But another dude would maybe try to break free. So maybe it's better to use the Dawnbreaker thingy. Also, you can use those skills, like all you need to do is buff yourself, shadowy disguise, empower, and then just get behind him and try to shoot. Because in siege fights it's really messy and people usually can't target all the people, right? So you like the shadow disguise, the cloak is really strong. And I can use it quite a lot if I use a potion. Just to remember you, like this dude has 25k health, so there is a lot of people in Cyrodiil that have less health than him. There is people that run around with 20k, it's just too easy to kill people. And even people in heavy armor that don't expect you will have troubles staying alive. So that's already it for the build video. I will try to get some footage as soon as possible when Dark Brotherhood goes live. Then if you have any questions, ask me in the comment section below. If you liked the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Happy hunting. Cheers.